What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be going through another playoff series here with the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks. So let's jump right in. The Knicks are coming into this series as the 3 seed with a 53-29 record in the regular season, having won 6 of their last 10, whereas the Hawks are coming in as the 6th seed with a 46-36 record, also winning 6 of their last 10, and narrowly avoiding the playing game by 1 game. So looking at stats from this season, we can see that the Knicks have been one of the best offenses in the league this season, ranking third in the league in offensive rating at 120. And the Knicks have also been one of the best rebounding teams in the league and will certainly have the advantage down low and in the paint. Whereas the Hawks have been around middle of the pack in offensive efficiency all season as they're 14th in offensive rating. But the Hawks do have a disruptive defense and they certainly like to pressure the ball with Dyson Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Diving into some advanced stats now, the Knicks do a great job of crashing the glass on offense and not giving second chance opportunities to teams, whereas Atlanta struggles to rebound on both ends of the floor, and they will certainly need to keep the Knicks off the glass, especially Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Josh Hart. And the Knicks are a good shooting team and will definitely have the perimeter advantage against Atlanta, whereas the Hawks do a good job of forcing turnovers. However, they will need to make Brunson give the ball up in order to be effective in this series. Now looking at each team's play type percentiles via synergy. First for the Knicks, they have excelled in the pick and roll all season, especially with Brunson as the ball handler. And they have done a good job on defense in terms of defending the pick and roll, isolation, and spot ups. Whereas Atlanta has been efficient in spot ups and handoffs on offense. And the Hawks have also thrived in contesting spot up opportunities, but struggle in defending the rest of the actions. Now doing some lineup analysis. First for the Knicks, their starting lineup has not been the most efficient this season with only a plus zero point 0.3 net rating. And they've really struggled on defense all year, but have scored effectively throughout the season. And it certainly was an adjustment period going from Tom Thibodeau last season to Mike Brown this season. And certainly each of their roles kind of adjusted, especially Karl Anthony Towns took some getting used to his new role and how he would play within this offensive flow. However, their bench depth has really improved from last season with Miles McBride, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson, and Mitchell Robinson all giving the Knicks a lot of good minutes this season, especially McBride and Robinson, who have been very effective additions to the lineup when they play together, with the lineup of Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Anunoby, and Robinson with a plus 41.3 net rating. Now looking at the Hawks, Atlanta's starting lineup has been very effective ever since the Trae Young trade. They have a plus 18.6 net rating with the lineup of CJ McCollum, Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jalen Johnson, and Onyeka Okongwu. And the Hawks do have solid depth with guys off the bench like Jonathan Kuminga, Corey Kispert, Zachary Risache, Mo Gay, and Jock Londale. However, they lack a real true floor general and ball handler to run the offense, and it will be interesting to see how they operate on offense without that go-to guy to handle the rock. And looking at some projected defensive assignments now, first for the Knicks. On CJ McCollum, I have Josh Hart to start, and I would expect a lot of Jose Alvarado and Miles McBride on him when they are in the game. And then for Dyson Daniels, I think Jalen Brunson would guard him most of the time, as Daniels isn't really an offensive threat and certainly has struggled from the perimeter this season. So it gives Brunson a little bit of a break on defense, as he will definitely be carrying the load on offense. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, probably their second best perimeter scorer this year. I have Mikal Bridges to start on him, but again, I would likely see a lot of Josh Hart, Alvarado, and McBride on him when they are in the game. And then Jalen Johnson, I think OG Anunoby definitely takes this assignment, and I think Mikal Bridges would certainly get a lot of looks as well. And then at center, Onyeka Okongwu, I think Towns and Mitchell Robinson would definitely guard him when they are in the game. And now looking at the Hawks' defensive assignments, first, Jalen Brunson, obviously their go-to guy on offense and has been a great closer throughout his career and in the playoffs. Dyson Daniels, I think, definitely starts on him with using his size, length, and ball pressure ability just to get up on him, pressure him full court. And I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jonathan Kuminga definitely get a lot of time on him as well. And then Mikal Bridges, I think CJ McCollum would probably be on him, but I don't love this matchup for the Hawks. And I think this would be an area that the Knicks can look to exploit on offense. OG Anunoby, I have defended by Nikhil Alexander-Walker and Mo Gay when he is in the game. And then Josh Hart, I have defended by Jalen Johnson, who's not exactly known for his defense, but I think would do a good job of trying to keep Josh Hart off the glass as he is a solid rebounder. And then Towns, I think, is guarded by the centers for Atlanta, Onyeka Okongwu and Jock Landale. Now looking at some X factors in the series. First, for the Knicks, I think Mikal Bridges has a chance to have a really good series against Atlanta here. I know he has had kind of an up and down season all year and will certainly need to be a reliable scoring option behind Brunson and Cat. But he has been an efficient scorer this season, shooting 49% from the field, 37% from three, and 83% from the line. But Macau will have to defend at a high level in this series, and he will likely be matched up either against Nikhil Alexander Walker, CJ McCollum, or Jalen Johnson most of the time. And then for Atlanta, Jonathan Kuminga has only played 16 games since the trade deadline for Atlanta, but he was really good in the playoffs last season for Golden State when Steph Curry went down with an injury. And Kuminga has been averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal per game, while shooting 48% from the field, 35% from three, and 70% from the line. And Kuminga obviously has a ton of talent, and I think he will hopefully be able to play more of his game and his play style with Atlanta in this series. But he will have to take smart shots, and he will likely have to defend a top perimeter scorer when he is in the game, whether that be Jalen Brunson, Bridges, or OG Anunoby. It will be really interesting to see how Kuminga looks in this series. And to wrap things up today, I think this series will be super interesting on both sides of the court. These teams have already matched up 3 times this season, with the Knicks winning the season series 2 games to 1. And I think New York and Atlanta have really different play styles and philosophies that should make for an intriguing chess match in this series. With the Knicks having obviously the better offensive team and the clear advantage on that side of the ball, with more of kind of a free flowing offense, getting up a lot of threes. Whereas the Hawks like to really disrupt things on defense with pressuring things at the point of attack. But they will certainly need to make consistent shots in order to hang with New York in the series. And overall, I think the series will be super competitive, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these games kind of come down to the wire and be very close down the stretch. But with that being said, I think the New York Knicks will win this series 4 games to 2 over the Atlanta Hawks. And I just think that the late game execution of Brunson, of Towns, of Mike Brown kind of closing things out with his game plan will be too much for kind of the inexperienced Hawks, as this is kind of Jalen Johnson's first time in the postseason with all this kind of like pressure on him, with him being the number 1 option. And I just think the lack of a true kind of ball handler outside of someone like CJ McCollum and Nikhil Alexander Walker will really hurt them in this series. And thank you all so much for watching. That is going to be it for me today. If you did like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.